please lead the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, fellow hobos. We look great. Chief of Staff Peterson, will you please call the roll? Senator Anderson, Barnett, Bolweg,
Here.
Fry,
Here.
Christoffels,
Here.
Derringe,
Here.
Duncan,
Here.
Holland,
Here.
Howell,
Here.
Jensen,
Here.
Hampson,
Here.
Lopez, Mollison,
Here.
Haudel,
Here.
Pulse,
Here.
Roca,
Here.
Shemek,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Stein, Warfa, unexcused, Diversity Liaison Alex, Communications Chair Ringenberg, Finance Chair Delahoyd, Government Affairs Chair Hunt, Chief of Staff Peterson here, Vice President Sierra, President Spear, here, AFA, unexcused, AISA,
Here.
BSA, GSA,
Here.
IRC, LASA, unexcused, Unified Council,
Here.
Unified Council,
Here.
UPC,
Here.
Dr. Schmidt,
Here.
Dr. Willis. All right, we will now move on to adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda tonight? Senator Howell.
I move to waive the first reading of new business item D, commemoration 25-1-C.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of waiving the first reading of commemoration 25-1-R, I believe? -C. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, it has been waived. Any additional additions to the agenda? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve the agenda? Senator Stein?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor of approving the amended agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The agenda is approved. Likewise with the minutes, are there any additions or corrections to the minutes tonight? Seeing none, can I entertain a motion to approve? Senator Duncan?
So moved. Second.
All right, all those in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are approved. We will now move on to open forum item A. Dr. Victor Taylor, the Vice Provost for Graduate Education and Extended Studies.
Sorry, it's a long way from the back. All right. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. We have a very nice opportunity for students, staff, and faculty. It's called Coursera. How many of you have heard of Coursera? So I'll know where to begin. Okay, a few folks. So Coursera is a learning platform. They have hundreds and thousands of courses. It ranges from their typical catalog, includes all kinds of things that are sort of close to being equivalent to some topics that you would take here in, at SDSU. The catalog that we have access to mostly represents industry-based certificates and courses. So from IBM and AWS and Meta. And so these are opportunities for you, free of charge, to either take a course or earn a certificate through Coursera. You should have received an email or a message that gives you information on how to find the link and log in. All you need is your name and your email address, and you're set to go. You don't need to provide them with any more information. The value of it, I think, will depend on how you use it. It could be a really great supplement to your major. If you're in communication, for instance, and you want to specialize a little bit more in digital marketing and media, well, there's a Coursera course that you can take and earn a certificate. If you are, I don't know, English major, any English majors here? No? Okay, well, if you're an English major and you want to take a course in data analytics and just get a sense of what that is about, well, there's a data analytics course. So you can take courses that are close to your major or minor. You can take things outside of your field. But SDSU is the only university in the region that has this partnership, and we started it last year with the help of our friends in Extension. We were thinking about charging students, faculty, but we decided that we weren't going to do that. Actually, the cost to the university is about $100,000 a year. So if we were to charge students, it would be pretty substantial, but we decided not to do that. We felt that the value to you as a student having free access was much more than any dollar amount that we can get to offset the cost. So I really encourage you to look at the catalog to sort of explore the opportunities. You may have faculty who will assign some Coursera work to you in courses. It can be embedded in modules, but take the initiative yourself. Look and see what's out there, and experiment with it. If you start a course and you don't like it, then don't finish it. Go on to something else. You don't get a grade for it. It doesn't cost you anything. So I really invite you to explore that opportunity. And if you get in there and you like it, send me an email. If you don't like it, send the email to Coursera at, no, I'm just kidding. You can send me the other email too if you like. We can work on the product and the catalog. So not quite sure how much time you wanted me to have tonight, but I think I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about Coursera and how it's used and what we're trying to do with it. Yes.
How many students have you seen enrolled in any of these?
So, the top number, we have about 700 faculty, staff, and students combined who have opened an account. Of that number, we have about 500 who are sort of lined up to take a course, and about 200 or so students actually who have started the process of signing up, and about half of those actively in a course. So what happens if you're in the course, it kind of fluctuates, because if you're in the course and then you finish it, then you come off the count. But right now, there are about 100 students at some level of engaging with a course. Now, I'm glad you asked the question, because the Honors College is doing a pilot program in their Honors 101. And so all the students in Honors 101 are going to be participating in the AI course that's offered by IBM, and it's an intro to AI. And so they'll all be taking as part of the course and doing some projects and then reporting out. And there are about, I think, 200 students who are part of that program. So thank you for asking. And you're on the AI committee. Welcome. All right. Any other? This is a lot easier than the last time. But my former institution, and I was at Student Senate. I was there in defense of starting a philosophy club, made the argument. It passed 50-1. I never knew who that one student was who voted against it, but I'm going to find that person. So, but anyway, thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much, and have a great meeting, a great evening. Thank you.
Moving on to open forum, item B, we will have Tanner Aiken, Jonathan Meendering, and Lisa Marotz with Macquarie Gardens. I'm so sorry if I said your last names wrong.
Got a couple of handouts here. Don't have 20, but no, I'm good with that one. And then I think someone was going to put a visual up on the screen. So I'm Tanner Aiken. I work for Facilities and Services as a project manager and horticulturist for campus. A lot of people know me as the tree guy, so really excited to talk with you this evening about the Arboretum, just north of Macquarie Gardens and east of the Big East Lot, and a project we're calling the Recreation Corridor. And so just to gauge some familiarity, how many of you have been to the Arboretum? Know of the Arboretum? Familiar? Okay, great. Yeah, so kind of intermediate. So we've been looking at this area since 2022, I think is when we started the process. We found TAP grants through the state It's actually through the Department of Transportation. TAP grant is basically a transportation alternative grant, so multimodal transportation. And we started looking at this area as a place to establish a recreation corridor. You know, you see people running all over campus, kind of recreating on the sidewalks. I've thought for the longest time, wouldn't it be great to have a place to do that, that your feet aren't constantly just hitting pavement. You got the opportunity to kind of run in a natural space. And so we applied for the TAP grant. We were awarded the TAP grant. So really big news, and here we are in 2025, getting the project kicked off. And so what you see on the screen here is the concept drawing of how this paths actually would look through the Arboretum. In the orange there, this is a hard surface asphalt path. The target is about 2.5 kilometers in distance. And so this would allow, it's an accessible path, right? As it exists now, the path through the Arboretum is gravel. And so if you're not looking to run on a gravel path, if you have some considerations for mobility, it's just not a good fit for you. So this asphalt path would change that. It kind of opens this up to all students. The green kind of snaking through there, that would be a secondary gravel path, what we're calling cross-country path. If you want to run, walk, or ride your bike on gravel, it's there for you. So first and foremost, this project is a trail project, right? It's about kind of connecting students, people on campus with natural spaces, something that we don't have a whole lot of in the campus core, and this is an excellent place for that. There are two other things that come along with this. We would like to address some stormwater that comes through this area. As it happens right now, we intercept a ton of water from all of the properties to the south. That's all on, or mostly on, hard surface. And so that water comes through this area extremely fast, and it floods it. University Boulevard, the bridge there, you've seen water's topping it, even in small rains. So we would like to address that. And the other part to this is a disc golf course expansion. Right, it just kind of ties in just too perfectly. Right now we have a 9-hole disc golf course. We'd like to expand that to an 18-hole. We're working with Dusty Rodick, is a award-winning course designer. He worked in city of Brookings for quite a while. He's up in Watertown now, but we're working with him on trying to get a design together. The thought was, could this become a destination for maybe state disc golf, things of this nature? And just this summer, we hosted the state disc golf, a portion of the state disc golf tournament here with a temporary course that we set up. So we know that the need is there. We know that it'd be used. Another portion of this project is, in the handouts that you have that are floating around, they're going to have a black dotted line around the outside. So that's our project limits. That's what we've submitted to the DOT. That's kind of the hard boundary that we're tied to. And so we saw an opportunity in here. How can we, you know, there's obvious traffic from the campus residential core over to the amenities on the east side of 22nd, Walmart in particular. Is there an opportunity, we thought, to get students through this area to kind of improve a walk that connects from the residential core over to Walmart? And so we've kind of kept that vision and tried to incorporate that the best we can into this trail design. So the south, the bottom orange path that goes from the Big East lot over to 22nd would function as that path. We're envisioning, you know, asphalt, as we've said. We would do some safety lighting along there. The path as a whole, you know, throughout the whole Arboretum would not be lit to the same degree that campus is. In fact, you know, going north of that southernmost pathway, we don't picture any lighting at all. We want to keep the space wild. We want to keep this a natural space. We're thinking something very similar to the Dakota Nature Park, right? So those kind of shaggy spaces, you know, where nature's really doing its thing, and we're kind of a visitor to that. But as we get to the south, there's some opportunities for some lighting through there to, help that path stay lit up. And it wouldn't be near the levels of lighting you see elsewhere on campus. It wouldn't be quite that bright, but we would use it strategically to cut down on glare and all that stuff. So, other things about the map that's up on the screens, you'll see a couple of greenway paths through the Big East lot. All right, there's 2 of them coming through, trees represented on there. That's not part of this project. Okay, that's some early ideas from the campus master plan. Do we need some pedestrian corridors through the Big East lot? Do we need to break that Big East lot up a little bit and provide those pathways to connect to whatever's going on in the Arboretum and McCrory Gardens? And so that's not part of this project, but we want to align our project with those future goals. We'll have this tie in. Can you guys think of anything, highlights that I'm missing?
Other connections throughout. So other connections throughout campus, we have planned connections to the north as well, which would connect into the parking lots that are via Oscar, as well as potential future development in that area. And then additional connections east, there's some apartment buildings east of 22nd that we would connect to, and then additional connections further south, so along 8th Street.
And if you are curious and want to kind of get a vision for this, McCrory Gardens has, and I think Chris maybe just stopped mowing the path, but it may be still,
You can still see.
you can still see it. Yeah. So if you want to see what this path would look like through the Arboretum, you can go walk it. There's areas that are more shorter than the rest of the turf out there, and you can actually walk the path if you'd like to. So it could help you get a feel for the project scale. So, having given the overview, I would take any of your questions. If they're too hard, I'm going to pass them off to these folks here. Yes.
Is this project going to be entirely funded by that TAP grant, or is there some, funding is coming from there, and then also university funding to compensate for the rest?
That's a really good question. So, the award for the TAP grant was $1.4 million. We are responsible for about 800,000 of that. And so then the match is that other 600 and some thousand that would come from the state. So yeah, it's a great question, and we're still doing a little fundraising for that. So we're almost there. I'm optimistic. Yes. Sorry, I just see hands.
When would be an estimated timeline for this project to be completed by?
Oh, great. Yeah, that's important. 2026 right now is what we have tentative. I do believe we will get this done in 2026. And I did forget kind of the timeline. So we have went through our first review of documents, preliminary review, what we call the 60% documents, so 60% completed. A lot of time for comments and revisions. We'll have one more really large revision opportunity coming up this winter sometime, call that the 80%. And then it's bid through the DOT office. So yeah, spring 26 is when we're looking to break ground on this.
I'll go first if that's okay.
Okay, yeah.
I absolutely understand the concept of keeping that natural path and avoiding too bright lights to disturb the nature in there. But my question to you would be, would you guys be considering putting one of the blue light boxes across that path, as some students might refer to this as the Walmart path? And I know that that'll be one that would be traveled at night if it were an option. So that blue light box, I would request, would be a good addition to your guys' map in the interest of student safety.
That's a great comment, and it came up in campus planning sustainability. The request is made as well, and I think it's totally doable. Yes.
With the disc golf course adding new holes, is there any plan to redo the old ones, or are they just gonna leave the old ones how they are and add 9 new ones?
Yeah, another really good question. So will we leave the 9 holes and then just add on to that? I think the whole thing will get reimagined. Yeah. As we walked this with Dusty, he really kind of had the vision on how this lays out. The first 9 holes are rather short. I don't know if there's any disc golfers in here. I used to golf this, and it's a short course, and that's a good thing, but kind of leaves you wanting a little bit more. I think the first 9 will kind of stretch out, and so there'll be a kind of a proper sized first 9, and then kind of a back 9 that are even longer. So that's kind of the vision for it. It is nice to be able to go play a short course in between, you know, a class break or something like that. So this is still conceptual. What you see up there is subject to change a little bit, to some degree. The disc golf course, probably more than anything, is subject to change. Yes.
What would happen to the current grass trails on there when the pavement comes? I know the gravel, that's what you were talking about with the pavement, but especially being a runner, running in the grass trails,
Mhm.
they still be mowed or that kind of change?
Yeah, so the grass trails that are mowed out there right now would become the asphalt path. The green would be the gravel, and then there's another set, a tertiary set of trails that you're not seeing up here that would maybe just be mowed turf trails. We've been talking a lot with cross country and about some of their needs for training because they train out here. And, you know, we kind of settled on maybe the most predictable surface was gravel. Initially, we thought, well, that could be turf, right? And that could be great just to run on nice turf through here. But from a maintenance standpoint and training at the level that they're at, I think it's a little bit of a liability to have it just be turf. But there is a tertiary set of trails that would just be mowed turf. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I just love to ask about money, so I'll ask another financial question. So, you know, about 800,000 of that falls on university, and I'm sure, right, one way or the other. Was there other avenues explored, maybe with partnerships with the city of Brookings or other ways to offset that cost to SDSU, or what kind of does the back end of that process look like to land at, you know, this is our burden to pay for this project?
So we're exploring those avenues right now, and I think more to be determined. But yes, a partnership with the city is one that we're interested in. We're still trying to define exactly what that looks like and to what extent that covers some of that funding. We have funded the design portion of this through some planning dollars. And so we're kind of just chunking away at it. So yes, it's, you know, 800,000 for the university, but we're piecing that together slowly, and some of that may come from partnerships. Oh, yes, Chris.
My assumption is you'll allow bikes on the paved path?
Yeah, I think really this is, multimodal. Yeah, there's not a lot of programming with it. It's just a path for folks to use as they see fit. And I don't know, the Arboretum is just such a cool place. If you haven't been out there, I highly suggest you go. Fall's an amazing time. I spent a lot of time out here when I was a student, when I was an undergrad here. And I wish we would have had, you know, the kind of access that we're talking about here, because I would have been out there a whole lot more. So very excited to offer that. Yes.
So with the creation of all these paths, I guess you could probably expect to see more student traffic through there. Is this something that will be plowed in the wintertime to allow passage even when there's snow on the ground?
Yeah, so with the DOT, they require a winter maintenance plan. I think a portion, at least, of these paths will be plowed, but it is something that the DOT requires. So to some extent, yeah, I think what we would call the Walmart path is, I think you'd have to, yeah, I think absolutely, at the very least, that would be plowed.
Second question. So there's a pretty significant part of that path is gonna be north of University Boulevard. Are you guys gonna develop that part of it around, isn't the trail go up into the north?
It's all south of the University Boulevard.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't
Within,
go
within
to
there, the Arboretum.
that thing's 2.5 kilometers long like that?
The green portion, yeah. Yeah. And that's the target for the orange. It's not really a 2.5 km loop. I think if you added all the legs up, yeah, you probably get there. The green is designed to be a loop though, like 2.5 km. I mean, ultimately though, I think the idea would be this trail does go to the north. Just thinking maybe long-term, it would be nice to see what we're calling the recreation corridor really kind of wrap up and meet up with the large detention pond up by Highway 14.
That's what I was thinking, if you're gonna develop that area too.
Yeah.
So as part of the campus master plan, there's a whole development to the north for additional stormwater detention, as well as tying in with the city's, multimodal recreation trail that they've started to extend on the west side of campus.
Oh,
So
sure.
we'd kind of loop all the way around and connect in with that.
My 2 cents here. I am Lisa Marotz, Jonathan Tanner, just in case you weren't sure here. I am a history nerd. If you see anything that has to do with history at McCrory Gardens, it's probably because I dug it up and I put it on the walls, or I've told it to you a million times. When we saw this opportunity to apply for this grant, I knew that I didn't have the knowledge it took to put the grant together, but these guys did, and there was at least 4 others around the table when we were talking about applying for this grant. What I really appreciated about this grant is the questions that they asked. I'm also part of Visit Brookings, and tourism is a huge part for us at McCrory Gardens. And one question on this grant was, what will this route do for your community? I valued that question because right away I could say, I dream of having state tournaments, disc golf tournaments, for example, in the Arboretum. And that's going to bring people to Brookings to eat in our restaurants, to sleep in our hotels, to have individuals who maybe had never been to Brookings before. And they're thinking, this is South Dakota State University. I want to learn more. Who knows? You could think of all the reasons why you are here, why you chose to come to SDSU. And we just don't know who's out there, right? We just want to be the best that we can be and show off everything that we have to offer. Talking about history, after we applied for the grant, then I found a document that was done in 1986, and it was presented to the South Dakota legislature, and that is when the Arboretum was declared to be the South Dakota State Arboretum. I got to McCrory in May of 2016, and the debate was, what should the sign say? Does it belong to South Dakota? Does it belong to SDSU? I thought South Dakota State Arboretum really hit the mark for all of us. So that is when that happened. But within that, I can show you something that Dr. Tom Warner, he was the department head of horticulture, plant science at the time, he envisioned that there be an actual wildlife and fisheries laboratory in the Arboretum. So we haven't even talked tonight beyond what the routes and the trails are going to do for getting people out into nature, out into creation. We haven't even talked about what opportunities they are for students and classroom spaces. So we have talked to Natural Resource Management. They're very excited about the possibilities. There's possibilities of being ponds there. What lives in a pond? Yes, fish, but also birds go there and plants live there. I am just really excited about all these other opportunities, and especially as we look into making our community even more accessible. This is a huge piece in allowing more and more people to be in what we could call Dakota Nature Park North, as you may want to call it. But thank you for listening to this tonight, and I hope to see you at the garden soon.
Any further questions? Thank you guys so much. Moving on to open forum, item C, public comments. Are there any members of the public that would like to address the Senate tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on to committee and staff reports, starting with myself. To begin with a fun start, Finance Fun Time met last Friday, and we established our official kind of order of events that we're going to discuss in this task force. Number one being internal Senate spending, executive team discretion, and general guidelines for the internal budget. Then number two will be reporting expenditures to the Senate. Number three will be budget marathon hearings, and number four will be GAF allocation clarity. If you guys have any questions about those priorities or what we plan on doing in the task force, or if you have any contributions to the task force, you can contact myself, Vice President Sierra, Finance Chair Delahoyd, Chief Staff Peterson, and Senators Stein, Shemek, and Christoffels. Moving on, I got an email from the President's Office about the F.O. Butler Awards for Excellence. We are proud enough to have a committee member on that. It would be a one-time kind of 90-minute meeting in December. For this, you can find more information about the F.O. Butler Awards by a simple search or on the website. I also do have that email that I would be happy to share with us. But senators, I'm looking for a senator to sit on this committee one time in December. I strongly encourage anyone to do this if you kind of need a little push. But please let me know by the end of the meeting tonight or after the meeting tonight. In addition, I did reach out to our advisor nominees that we discussed. I also participated in Paint the Town on Sunday, which was very fun. I would like to thank Senator Derringe for helping us out. It was awesome. She painted a great sign. And in addition, Wesley and I have a meeting with Dr. Willis tomorrow, as well as the Accessibility Task Force will meet tomorrow at 3 p.m., 3:30. And then lastly, our executive team media training is scheduled for 6 p.m. on October 27th. If any of the senators or ex officios are interested in sitting in on that, please contact me. End of my report. We'll move on to Vice President Sierra.
Yeah, not a whole lot, I guess. Student Federation met last Wednesday at the Board of Regents meeting down in Spearfish. So there wasn't too much because we had just met, but one big thing, Jason McConnell talked about the Center for Civic Engagement that they have there at Spearfish now, and how he kind of hopes for it to expand across South Dakota, and how to hopefully grow into a bigger project going from there. And then we have our Senator one-on-ones for the new senators this week as well.
Chief of Staff Peterson.
Yes, so I also participated in Paint the Town this week. So if you guys happen to drive by the strip mall with Qdoba in it, we painted the State Farm and Willard Chiropractic if you're interested. So Paint the Town was really fun. Also, if you guys notice on the agenda tonight, there is a Hero ex officio request. I have been working with some representatives from Hero, and they are interested in becoming an ex officio. They seem very enthusiastic. They have been an ex officio in the past. If you have any questions, please ask me. We're going to vote on that in 2 weeks, which is our next meeting, and there will be a representative here to also answer questions. So if you have any concerns, please reach out to me. Also, tomorrow I would really like SA to participate in Bum Over. So if you are able to, we do need a certain amount of people to be on the team. So if you're able to participate in that tomorrow night at, I believe it's at 7 p.m., please email me or talk to me after the meeting and let me know, because if we don't have enough people, I don't want us to show up and then not have a team. So please let me know. Other than that, end of report.
Finance Chair Delahoyd.
I did get our monthly expenditures from Deb right before she left, so I do have those for the month of September. They will be linked in the meeting minutes. So if you're interested in those for what our internal spending and everything was for the month of September, you can check those out. They'll be in the meeting minutes. Budget philosophy, the Finance Committee voted and approved a budget philosophy. It'll be coming to vote here later, or will be heard later today. One thing to note with it is that we really wanted to go through and eliminate the case-by-case basis that was all throughout it, because it gave us no real backbone to say, like, yes, we're going to fund this, or no, we're not going to fund this. So we tried to give ourselves a little bit more of a explicit, here's what we want to fund and here's what we don't wanna fund. So I encourage you to read through that. It'll be voted on next week, or 2 weeks, because we don't have a meeting next week. So make sure you familiarize yourself with that, because that is what we will be basing all budgeting decisions on for the entire semester and report.
Government Affairs Chair Hunt.
So as I discussed last week, resolution 25-4-R will be discussed at this meeting from our government affairs committee meeting. And then there is a student promotion fund committee meeting this week. The report.
Communications Chair Ringenberg.
The RAD report was sent out this morning. Reminder to take the housing and residential survey if you haven't. It should have gotten sent out to your emails. The heading of the email is 5 minutes equals $5 if you are having trouble finding it. New senator headshots were taken on Friday. I'll get those sent out to you as soon as I get them, most likely later this week or sometime next week. And then the apparel store is officially open. I'll send out the link later tonight. The store closes on Tuesday, October 21st at midnight, so make sure to get your orders in by then. And end of report.
Diversity Liaison Alex.
Last week I attended LAS's meeting, where we painted something that was significant about our countries, and basically like the canvases that we painted will be added onto the float on Hobo Day. The Diversity and Inclusion Committee meeting is set to be next week. I'm waiting for everybody to respond to the Google form. And then I'll be attending the Access, Opportunity, and Belonging Committee meeting this Friday.
We will move on to ex officio reports, beginning with AFA. Moving on to AISA.
No report.
BSA.
We're just figuring out how we're gonna get involved in the one-day events this week, and then working on decorating our float. End of report.
GSA.
We will be having our regular scheduled meeting on Wednesday, and we will also be working on our float report.
IRC.
We are going to be transitioning to new members in our executive board. We have candidate forms and we'll be holding elections for a couple positions, and the rest of the positions only had one show interest. And in the next couple of weeks, I'll be bringing the new officio.
LASA. RHA.
We're gonna co-sponsor an event with LASA about their goal on Wednesday from 1 to 3 on the, I believe, west side of the union or the east side of the union, but we're co-sponsoring that with them for Hispanic Heritage Month. We also are going to help out with Hobo Night Live. There are going to be experiences you can win at that, and that's with a lot of other events surrounding Hobo Night and just allowing Hobo Week to be such a big thing. End of report.
United Council.
Greek Life had our alcohol awareness speaker last week. That went very well. Happy with how that turned out. And IFC specifically is working on finalizing our spring budget for the upcoming semester. End of report.
United Council.
Hi, I'm Ellen, the new ex officio for the Panhellenic side of United Council. The Panhellenic Council is also working on finalizing their spring budget as well, and as well as the mental health speaker that we have coming as well. End of report.
UPC.
So this last Saturday, we went to Chanhassen Dinner Theater, and we brought some students there, and it was a ton of fun, and they really enjoyed it. Tomorrow, we're having Jack's Got Talent, and that's at 6 o'clock, and student tickets are $5. Mulligan Stew is Thursday, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, so just show up and you guys can try some of the stews that'll be out. And then we have Hobo Bingo on Friday, 7 to 9, where you can win some hobo and like some Jack's gear for the game. And the report.
Moving on to advisors reports, please, starting with Dr. Schmidt.
Good evening, everyone. Not a big report today. I do want to talk a little bit about the budgeting philosophy. So that's on your agenda for next time. After last week where, we were talking about funding different organizations, new venture funds and stuff, the way that you judge whether a new venture fund is appropriate to fund is through against your budgeting philosophy. So you'll have that next time. My charge to you guys is make sure you're ready to discuss it, because you have to pass it. So that means you should read it before you come to the meeting next time, and then if you have any questions or comments, you gotta hash it out in the discussion part. So I just wanna encourage you all to do that, because the budgeting philosophy is gonna set what your priorities are for funding for the rest of the year. End of report.
Dr. Willis?
Yeah, so last week spent some time out in Spearfish on the beautiful campus of Black Hills State University. Attended the Black Hills Rapid City grand opening of the West River Health Sciences Center, a partnership between SDSU and Black Hills State University to promote more nurses in the workforce, and Monument Health is the third partner of that. It was very well attended. It was an exciting time and really fun to see the new space that our nursing students get to engage with. Our nursing program is seeing some really nice growth out in Rapid City as a part of that partnership, where students typically will complete their first 2 years in an associate's degree program at Black Hills State University, and then enter into our nursing program in their 5th semester, and then complete that in 5 semesters following that. So really great partnership, definitely workforce need in nursing, and a lot of fun to see the new spaces. In addition, we had Student Affairs Council and Enrollment Leadership Team, where we talked a lot about enrollment strategy. That was a big topic of discussion during those meetings. We also talked a little bit about dual credit and a few other items. The board meeting was relatively uneventful, but a number of things were brought forward and discussed. It was fun to hear what Student Federation was doing, but also both students associations at Black Hills and Mines presented, and those were a lot of fun to hear, and a great addition to the board meeting when we added those several meetings ago. With that, other things, just been doing a lot of planning around Hobo Day, which is of course this Saturday. A lot of fun activities going on this week. I encourage everyone to fully engage in your homecoming celebration. Hobo Day week and Hobo Day parade and festivities on Saturday. Been doing a lot of safety planning and emergency management planning just to be prepared for anything that could happen, and working with UPD, BPD, the city, the university leadership, our emergency management team, and others, the Hobo Day committee as well. So that's been a really great collaborative partnership, and feel really good about the events all week and to come. Last, I would just say thank you to all of you who were able to come out to our home this evening to enjoy a little bit of food and collegiality. It was a lot of fun. My husband and I enjoyed hosting you. So did Oswald, even though he couldn't see you. So thanks for coming out. With that, end of report.
Moving on to committee reports. Are there any committees that would like to report out tonight? Senator Roca.
So last Thursday I was with USAC, and then we had a follow-up notes with the QR thingy. So probably at a year you should start seeing the QR codes. So they will probably expand that to the JJ's, Qdoba's, and other station. And they're still working on the mobile ordering with Qdoba, because that needs to be approved by Qdoba franchise itself. Like Qdoba headquarters. Sorry. And then also they have, tomorrow is the last day for Hispanic Heritage Month menu. So that's the last day for HHM. And then they have other celebrations as well. So on October 16th, they have SEF Celebration Week event, where each of the SEF will be at one specific station at Jaeger, and then they will serve you their special food. So I encourage you to go there and eat a lot. And then there is another one coming up on 23rd, that's Big Cities Bite. And then they also talked about Swipe Out a Hunger program, where they give away the block meal, but they only give you the block meal to have like food insecurities and stuff, so it's not like a free. So yeah, and end of it.
Any other committees that would like to report out tonight? All right, seeing none, are there any questions for any of the committees tonight, or any of the reports tonight? Senator Duncan?
Yeah, not so much a question per se, but just for Dr. Willis, I wanted to make sure that you knew on behalf of the entire Senate how thankful we are that you and your husband hosted us for a Bummer Meal. That was really a special experience for all of us to get to do and to do together. So I guess I would like to offer a round of applause for Dr. Willis. Thank you.
Senator Duncan beat me to my comments, so are there any further comments? All right, we'll move on to unfinished business. And we have commemoration 25-1-C. Chief of Staff Peterson, would you please introduce this item?
One moment. Commemoration 25-1-C. Title of commemoration reads, the SDSU Student Association celebrates and honors Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th and invites all students to learn more about Hispanic culture and history. Prime sponsor includes Diversity Liaison Alex, President Spear, Vice President Sierra, Chief of Staff Peterson, and Government Affairs Chair Hunt.
Would anyone request that this item be read in full?
Yes, please.
Chief of Staff Peterson, would you please read?
Title of commemoration reads, the SDSU Student Association celebrates and honors Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th and invites all students to learn more about Hispanic culture and history. Whereas South Dakota State University recognizes Hispanic Heritage Month as a month to celebrate the Hispanic culture, and whereas the Office of Multicultural Affairs and Accessibility is home to the Latin American Student Association on campus, and whereas September 15th to October 15th is the time to give recognition to the Hispanic and Latino history and culture, as well as the many contributions made to United States history and culture by the Hispanic American communities, and whereas the Hispanic community on campus will be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month through events such as their luncheon happening on October 15th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. in the Student Engagement Center, and whereas the students of SDSU strive to be inclusive and diverse in a community filled with many different contributions from other cultures, therefore, be it commemorated, the South Dakota State University Student Association recognizes Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th as a time to celebrate and honor the important aspects of Hispanic culture on campus and around our nation, and invites students to engage with events commemorating Hispanic Heritage Month.
Can I entertain a motion to approve this commemoration? Senator Howell.
So moved. Okay.
Senator Howell, first right to debate.
Yeah, I guess unfortunately Lassa isn't here tonight, but I think what a great way to commemorate a month and the contributions of Hispanic Americans and Hispanics in general, both to the United States and all across this country and really the world. So I just think it's a great opportunity for us to recognize those students here and all the work that they're doing, not only here at SDSU, but across the state, across the country, and across the world. So I think very fitting to waive the first reading so that we can recognize Hispanic Heritage Month during the month that it's occurring. And obviously it looks like there's a luncheon that's happening that still yet we can take part in. So I would encourage everyone to vote yes on this commemoration.
Further discussion? Seeing none, we'll take this to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Peterson, please call the roll.
Senator Anderson, Barnett, Bolweg, Bry, Christoffels, Derenge, Duncan, Holland, Howell, Jensen, Campson, Lopez, Mollison, Caudell, Pulse, Roca, Chemick, Smith, Stein, Warfa, abstains, Finance Chair Delahoyd, Chief of Staff Peterson, aye. Vice President Sierra.
The ayes have it, and commemoration 25-1-C has been passed. All right, moving on to new business, starting with item A, the Hero Ex Officio written request. There's not much to introduce with this item, so I would just say before we open for discussion that this will be voted on next week as it is in our new business item, and this would require a 2/3 vote. I would entertain any discussion right now, however, we will be voting on this next week. Seeing none, we'll move on to new business item B, the 2025-2026 budgeting philosophy. Again, this is our budgeting philosophy for this year, a kind of informal introduction as Dr. Schmidt had given us. But I will open the floor up for any discussion on this as we still will be voting on this next week. However, if anybody would like to discuss now, I would open the floor. Seeing none, we will move on to new business. Item C, Resolution 25-4-R. Chief of Staff Peterson, please introduce this item.
Resolution 25-4-R. Title of resolution reads, South Dakota State University Student Association supports the decision of the Brookings City Council regarding House Bill 1130. Prime sponsor is Government Affairs Chair Hunt. Sponsors include President Spear, Vice President Sierra, Chief of Staff Peterson, Senators Bolweg and Jensen.
Would anyone request this item be read in full? Senator Bolweg?
Yes, please.
It has been requested. Chief of Staff Peterson, please read the item.
Resolution 25-4-R. Title of resolution reads, South Dakota State University Student Association supports the decision of the Brookings City Council regarding House Bill 1130. Whereas House Bill 1130 was signed by Governor Roden on March 25, 2025, which changed the date options for city, municipal, and county elections, and whereas the Brookings City Council would like to determine which date of election would affect South Dakota State University students the least, therefore be it resolved that the South Dakota State University Student Association hereby supports the city, municipal, and county elections taking place on the first Tuesday of November per the Brookings City Council's decision.
We will be voting on this next week. However, I would open the floor for any discussion. Senator Bolweg.
Scheduling local elections in November aligns them with state national elections, times when students are already politically active and informed. So I support the Brookings City Council's decision regarding House Bill 1130. This decision ensures that local elections will align with the first Tuesday of November, a time when student engagement, voter accessibility, and civic participation are at their highest. So I would encourage you next week to vote yes on it.
Further discussion? All right, we will vote on that item next week. Moving on to topics for future discussion. Are there any topics for future discussion tonight? All right, moving on to announcements, starting with myself, just a couple. Please remember if you have not taken the Board of Regents survey to do that. And if you could strongly encourage your social media members to also find that link in their email. It is titled 5 minutes equals $5. It's kind of hard to find if it's in your junk, but it is in there and we really appreciate that data as it's very important to our residential students on campus. In addition, you can catch Wesley and myself in the parade on Saturday morning, and we hope to see you tomorrow at Bumover or any of the other Hobo Day events this week. And then in addition, again, there will be no meeting next week as we will be celebrating the Native American Day holiday. Again, there will be no meeting next week. Chief Staff Peterson.
Once again, please email me after this meeting if you are able to participate in Bumover. For those of you who don't know what it is, they give you a bunch of cardboard and you create some kind of shanty or whatever you want, basically, and then you get judged. It's a lot of fun. Please email me if you can make it so that we can get kind of a head count. Thank you.
Senator Pulse.
Senator Bry and I will both be competing at Jack's Got Talent tomorrow night if you would come and support.
Finance Chair Delahoyne.
Senator Pulse, what will you be doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'll just.
Yeah, I'll be. Yeah. That's all. I was just a preview.
Well, Senators Pulse and Bry, we wish you the best of luck. And if we can attend, we will absolutely. Any further announcements? Seeing none, can I get a motion to adjourn? Senator Howell.
So moved.
All those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned.
Less than an hour.